Hey, it's NPR's Book of the Day. I'm Andrew Limbong. I burned through Caoilinn Hughes' book, The Alternatives, in just a matter of days. And I'm a slow reader, but it's one of those books where it's about a family of four sisters, and Hughes just puts them in a room together and lets them cook. They're bickering and joking and arguing and sniping at such a fast clip that the book actually turns into a script just as a way of keeping up with it all. But as much as the sisters fight with each other, at the end of the day, in true sisterly fashion, there's love there. After the break, my interview with Caoilinn Hughes.
This message comes from NPR sponsor Total Wine & More. With so many bottles to choose from, it's easy to find your favorite, all at the lowest prices. Find what you love and love what you find. Visit TotalWine.com. Spirits not available in Virginia or North Carolina. Drink responsibly. Be 21. This message comes from NPR sponsor Live Right, publishers of Left for Dead, Shipwreck, Treachery, and Survival at the Edge of the World by Eric J. Dolan. The true story of 5 castaways abandoned on the Falkland Islands during the War of 1812. Available wherever books are sold.
Sisters have a way of being there for you, holding you down when you're going through it, or standing up for you when your back's against the wall. But also, golly, do they have a way of getting on your nerves. Just the decisions they make sometimes force you to really wonder, how are we related? This dynamic is deeply and thoroughly examined in the new novel, The Alternatives, by Irish author Caoilinn Hughes, who joins us now in studio. Hey, Caoilinn, welcome to All Things Considered.
Hi, Andrew. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. So there are 4 Flattery sisters, right? There's Nell, the youngest. She's a philosophy professor in the U.S. There's Maeve, a cookbook author and Instagram famous chef, right?
Yes.
There's Rona, a high-powered political science professor at Trinity College in Dublin. But can you tell us about the eldest daughter?
Yes. So Olwin Flattery is a geologist, and she was really my starting point with this novel. So I knew I wanted to write about women at work, and Olwin was the first one that arrived, and she's a geologist, and I find that work to be really kind of deeply existential and fascinating. And I was writing the book in the west coast of Ireland, where I grew up, with this beautiful, wild landscape where you've got these kind of limestone shouldering through the fields and these wind-stripped hills. And that landscape is kind of like her in the fact that it's wild and dynamic, but somehow immovable. So that gave me a sense of Olwin, and also she had big sister vibes off
She
the
definitely
bat.
does that, yeah.
Yeah, so I knew that it was going to be a book about women at work, and also a novel about sisterhood, and a geologist, political scientist, a philosopher, and a chef.
Yeah.
And they definitely do walk into a bar.
Yeah. You mentioned the big sister vibes. Their parents died when they were younger. Olwin decides to deal with her grief by bailing, right? She leaves her partner Jasper and his 2 kids, and she sort of quietly ships off to a small town in Northern Ireland. She hides out there. She makes friends with the locals, sort of. And there's a scene where she's at the local pub thinking about the current moment that I was hoping that you could read.
Oh, I'd love to. No radio played in the background. No TV was mounted in the corner. It impressed Olwin a great deal, that sort of commitment to the moment. What with Jasper's video work and the fidgety sons and the students using apps to rack up telemarketing gigs in 5-minute increments, she wasn't used to such minimalism. The unadorned moment, the absolute basking in it. For all the cultural products having a moment, very few moments were up for grabs. Mindfulness was having a moment, and Nell had to gut her philosophy syllabus in response, to present all thought as ahistorical. Localness was having a moment, a preview to the scarcity moment, and Maeve had to rehash her UK menu to flaunt its blue and red roots. Sustainability was having a moment, and Rona had to dash off her op-eds explaining why the Green Party wasn't. It was to do with the localness moment, which meant that Sinn Féin was having the sustainability moment. After so many years of trying to dig into the moment, to put it in context, to know its makeup, Olwin had forgotten how it felt to take it for granted.
What is Olwin running from?
I think that she's had a role as a caretaker, from a very, very young age. she's had to project hopefulness. And I wanted, in a way, to write about people who are caught up in the existential ropes of the climate crisis and what it is to love someone who does that work. And, I do think that all novels are about love and care. In fact, I wanted to have an epigraph by James Baldwin where he says, "Love is the only reality, the only terror, and the only hope." And I think that there's moments of direct caregiving in the novel. Mm-hmm. Obviously between the sisters, certainly towards Olwin and towards each other, between Rona and her son Leo, but also, between one student who is gregarious and another student who doesn't want to speak, between, a passing cyclist and a sheep stuck in the briar. Mm-hmm. I think paying attention is a form of care. Yeah. So this is a type of, she wanted almost to relinquish herself of that responsibility to care for a moment.
Outside of the core four, your writing has such an efficiency with side characters. And I'm curious, how much thought are you putting into the lives and backgrounds of these characters?
Yeah, I do think that if you were to take any 5-minute segment of your day and think about the people that you bump into, or someone that you just brushed by and, had an encounter with in a cafe, those people are so specific. And so I'm always trying to render that specificity when I'm writing. And so it's not even something that I think about in terms of craft. It sort of happens naturally. I've obviously taught a lot and thinking about the types of students, the ones that come in these huge pairs of sunglasses and, who with a spliff on the table, like I taught in the Netherlands for a few years. And I don't know. I love thinking about each character with an uncapitalist amount of attention.
You have sisters, right?
I do, yeah. 2 brothers and 2 sisters.
Have your siblings read the book?
Two of them are reading it as we speak.
Is this what it's like in the Hughes house? You guys are just duking it out all the time?
Well, we so rarely get together now because we all live in different places. And in fact, I suppose that's partly why these sisters do live very distanced lives at the beginning. It's Olwin's disappearance that brings them together, for the first time in years. But it is chaotic and it's wonderful. And I do love being part of a big family. I loved being able to kind of disappear within it. And I am aware that this is now something that marks my generation as being maybe the last generation in Europe that has the privilege of having multiple siblings. And so I'm in a way chronicling that.
That was Caoilinn Hughes, author of The Alternatives. Caoilinn, thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Andrew.
What does it mean to be Black in America? In NPR's Black Stories, Black Truths, a collection of stories as varied, nuanced, and dynamic as the Black experience, you'll hear it means everything. Search NPR Black Stories, Black Truths wherever you get your podcasts.
This message comes from NPR sponsor KeyBank. At KeyBank, they believe in delivering for their clients. Whatever the economic turn, KeyBank is primed to collaborate and help create solutions tailored to your ideas and your vision. With nearly 200 years of banking experience, they know a lot about being a trusted advisor. And whether you're managing growth, seeking solutions, or improving your bottom line, KeyBank is ready to be yours. KeyBank opens doors. Learn more at key.com/advisor. This message comes from NPR sponsor Homes.com. When you're home shopping as a parent, you have lots of questions about local schools. That's why each listing on Homes.com includes extensive reports on local schools, including photos, parent reviews, student-teacher ratio, school rankings, and more. The information is from multiple trusted sources and curated by a dedicated in-house research team. It's also you can make the right decision for your family. Homes.com. We've done your homework.